people, the Call Me Crazy show here. I'm very happy to be here. I want to be able to thank Teach C and Marty, the editor, for making the show possible, and you, the viewers. First things first, I want to be able to say that hopefully you watch the movie Los Marihuanos. That was a movie that we started making 18 months ago. Hopefully you've been enjoying the movie previews of the movie. Okay, and first thing first is somebody wrote me a letter, or wrote us a letter, wrote us a letter saying pretty much a good review of the movie. The guy's name is James and his wife Rebecca Jackson, and they wrote a letter saying they love the movie and that basically making us feel better about our product that we made, because I have more viewer mail saying they like the movie and hopefully we'll be able to make more movies. So I'll talk more about that when I can, when I'm able to interview some of the cast and players in the production of that movie. Okay, first things first, I'm trying to be keeping you guys in current event. As of yesterday night, I just found out that the coach for the U of A football team, John Mackovic, was fired after losing. I'm not even going to say the scores, but we've been outscored, outmanned, outplayed in every game for the past 2.5 years, and apparently some of the players since last year felt that the coach of the U of A football team, John Mackovic, was pretty abusive to a point where several assistant coaches left because they couldn't work with the guy. And then last year, 44 players held a meeting with, I think with the sports director, I'm not sure, basically saying that they were kind of fed up with Mackovic's coaching style. John Mackovic was a coach for the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day, and he was fired last night. And a lot of people in Tucson are very happy because everybody I know who loves the U of A football team is glad that he's gone. Some were telling me that they wish Dick Tomey would come back, but that's not the picture. Basically now the assistant coach is now the new coach just for the season for the U of A football team, and we'll see how that goes. We have a couple games right now. We're 1-4. So at least the coach is gone, a new era can begin, and hopefully we can forget about this season and go on to the next one for next year. But another thing I want to talk about before I go to is more and more when I read the papers every day, I've been noticing that now the death or casualties on the U.S. side in Iraq is not really front page news anymore. Now it gets a little byline saying 2 GIs killed in Baghdad due to the fact that they were at a roadblock and a bomb blew up or whatever. It's getting to a point now where there's been more soldiers killed than what the soldiers were killed in the war. Basically, George Bush said back in May that the war was over, and now we have more casualties mounting on the fact that there's more soldiers dying due to the fact that the war is over. So now what I want to be able to say is that I know some Vietnam veterans, and they're basically saying the same thing, that morale is probably a bad time, and I pray for all those soldiers and armed forces because they're doing a kick-ass job. But I know it's now, to me, at a historical viewpoint, I think it's more of it has more of a feel to it like a Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was back in the late 60s and early 70s. That was a real touchy subject for everybody back then. Now the Iraqi war that's going on is very touchy. Now there's more people dying on both sides. And what I want to emphasize too, the fact that it's the first time that the U.S. In a long time, I think ever, did a first strike policy, meaning that we wanted to go hit them first. And what I realized and what I've been reading about was every war that's ever taken place since the Industrial Revolution began ultimately lost. Russia fought with Japanese and Russia lost. France fought Mexico, France lost. So basically, I'm saying, and I might be wrong on the Russian and Japanese war. I have to look up on that right now, or hopefully later in another show. But I'll get more back to you on the Russian-Japanese war that happened at the turn of the century. But France tried to make Mexico part of France, and Mexico won that war. So now we want to go pretty much invade Iraq, and basically we're losing. We might have kicked out Saddam Hussein's regime now, but now there's terrorists from all over the world going to Baghdad and Iraq because they know that the U.S. military is more strong there, so they're trying to help the terrorists that already live in Iraq. So it's a very touchy subject. It's too bad that too many soldiers and too many casualties on the other side are dying on friendly fire incidents. The other day I read that some U.S. soldier opened fire on 9 Iraqi policemen by accident. They didn't know who was who. So the soldiers are bad morale right now, but keep it up, guys. And I know somebody up in serving up there, not in Iraq, but up in Kuwait City. But you take it easy, people. I gotta go. I have to go to work. But hopefully I'll get more in touch with the people who are responsible for Los Marihuanos. And I gotta get out of here. And my 100th episode is coming up pretty soon. So we're gonna have a little, hopefully a clip for you before Halloween called The Cave 2. Okay, people, I'm out of here. I have to go. Hasta la vista, people.
on. We're playing at Gargoyles August 19th. Be there at 9. We're playing with Max Waxy.
next song is called By the Thousand. It's dedicated to Ray Daniel.
Really me. Our drummer's pretty funny, huh?
You're funny.
That was By the Thousand.